So, what is the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged disk? So, this we are going to do. So, what is the electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged disk? The charge can be a positive or negative. So, charge will be distributed uniformly on it. Sigma we have to define here. What is sigma? Surface charge density. So that is the total charge on the disk divided by the total surface area of the disk, that is pi r square. So we are going to do this. So we are going to derive this. So what will be the electric field intensity due to a charged finite disk? It is a finite disk. So where we have to find the electric field? At a point on the axis of the disk. So when the charge is distributed uniformly at a point on the axis of the disk, there won't be y component of electric field due to symmetry. There will be only x component of electric field. So now we are going to find the electric field intensity due to a charged disk at a point on the axis. So this formula we are going to derive. Okay, so I'll take this slide. So I'll take this slide. See here. So this is a charged disk. Now we have to find the electric field intensity at a point on the axis. Say this point is P and the center of the disk is O. So x is the distance of that point P from center. So here we divide this entire disk charge into small ring elements. Small ring elements. Consider one of the ring element of radius r and thickness dr. So here we define sigma. Already I told you that what is sigma? Surface charge density. Surface charge density. Surface charge density. So what will be the charge on the small ring element? It will be sigma into area of the thickness of the small element. Area of the shaded portion will be 2 pi r into dr, length into breadth. So this is the dq on the small ring element. Already you know what is the electric field produced by a ring of charge at a point on the axis. So same formula we use here for the electric field produced by the small ring element. It is k dq into x divided by, so what is the, so radius of this ring element r, and what is the distance of that point P from the center? X. So r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. So this is the small amount of electric field produced by the small ring element. To find the electric field produced by the total disk of charge, we have to integrate the small r value. R is variable. So that means we have to consider ring elements of different radii. We have to find the electric fields due to different ring elements and then we have to add up, means integrate. So here small r is variable. To cover up the entire disk, so r value, small r value should vary from 0 to capital R. So as you say, capital R is the radius of the entire disk, capital R. Now, so dq value we substitute here. So dE is equal to k into dq value is 2 pi r dr into x divided by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. Now we substitute k also. What is the k value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So if we substitute the k value, so then we will be getting here 2 pi will go sigma by 2 epsilon naught r dr, so into x divided by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. So here r is variable, x is constant. To get the total electric field, so we have to integrate this. So integral dE is equal to, so sigma by 2 epsilon naught x is constant. So integral r dr divided by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. Now the value of this integral is, minus 1 by x cos theta. So what is the constant here? X is constant. So minus 1 by x into cos theta. So that is the value of this integral. So what is theta? Theta is the angle made by any point on the disk with the given point. So angle made by any point on the disk with the given point. So the theta value will vary from 0 to theta naught. That means here we are converting r variable into theta variable. So the integral of this will be sigma x divided by 2 epsilon naught. So into minus cos theta divided by x. So here x will be cancelled here, and theta value should vary from 0 to theta naught. What is that theta naught? I tell you. So remember this integral. So here sigma by 2 epsilon naught into minus cos theta will get here. That is remaining. So remember that. So here you will be getting electric field will be equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught into minus cos theta 0 to theta. So r, we are converting here r variable into theta variable. So if you consider one point on the rim of the disk, this point will make angle with the, this point or the radius vector of this point will make certain angle theta with the axis. That is theta naught. So to cover the entire disk, theta value should vary from 0 to theta naught. 0 to theta naught. So what is this theta naught value? The theta naught value comes out to be cos, okay, theta naught, cos theta naught value. Cos theta naught value comes out to be, so it is x divided by, this is hypotenuse, r square plus x square. So x divided by root over x square plus r square. So this is theta naught. What is the cos 0 value? Cos 0 value will be equal to 1. Now if we substitute those limits here, so E will be equal to, and here to avoid the negative sign, you can interchange the limits. So to avoid the negative sign, sigma by 2 epsilon naught, cos 0, lower limit you write first, and then upper limit to avoid the negative sign. So sigma by 2 epsilon naught, 1 minus cos theta naught is nothing but x by root over x square plus r square. So this is the electric field at a point on the axis of a uniformly charged disk.